of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.
Yes, people. Happy Sunday. I hope you are too blessed to be stressed this fine book into a weekend. When I say fine, I more mean like the weather's nice, I'm feeling great, my family's great, my wife, my son. I'm too blessed to be stressed. And everything outside of football, I'll be honest, watching FA Cup matches today got me salty. But that's not the only thing that got me salty today. Antonio NUSA. This guy, we've been talking about him like he's destined for Tottenham. Those motherfucking bees. I probably shouldn't have dropped the MF in the first 3 minutes of the video, but you know what? Those fucking bees, man. I swear to I told y'all last time we got to go beat these bees senseless. We got to make the bumblebees extinct. We got to do that ever so much now. It'll be interesting to see. There's a few ways to look at this, and we will look at it nonetheless. But before we get on to all that, welcome into episode 143 of the Immaculate series, also known as the Untitled series. I see the chat is moving. There is a poll in the chat. There's only 31 votes. Make sure you get your votes in the poll. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and you get fireworks if I hear that you liked it or subscribed. Well, it's not going to give you the fireworks now, apparently. Come on. There we go. Talk to me nicely every single time. Look, we find reasons within ourselves to be here. So if you're here, big up yourself right now. We find reasons in ourselves to either look at things half full, half empty. And either way you look at it, if you're of... I always like to reference Scott M, because that's my boy. Because he represents a certain side of things, let's say that way. I share some of his same feelings. Also have some feelings of my own because I'm an independent chick who get up on the dance floor. That is a reference to a hip hop song here. But look, I'm not going to go on too long about that by myself because I do have a fabulous guest. And no, he was not on here yesterday, but he's been on here quite a few times. And we're going to see what's up with him. But look, I see the chat's moving crazy. I'm going to say what's up to Tom Martin, the first YouTube chat member in the chat. How are you doing? Derek Spose here, Saka the Soldier. Some names I've never seen before are in the chat today. And I wonder why. I wonder why. I wonder why. Because also in the title, if you haven't heard in the last like 30 minutes or so, there's allegedly Mikel Arteta's leaving at the end of the season. Allegedly. They said he was trying to make his own Klopp campaign. I want people to like me too, so he got Klopp. He did the Klopp thing. I'll be leaving at the end of the season. Now I don't know if it's true or not. I'll wait. It's one of those I'll wait till he's holding the shirt type of things until I comment on it. But look, let me bring on my guests and let's try and make some sense of. There's a lot of things going on, but I hope some of the things going on for you is there's a lot of love, happiness, and laughter in your life. Whether you are a Spurs fan or not, you're a human after all. We're all the same. We all operate the same. We got a heart, a brain, and sometimes they don't agree. But you know what? That can't stop us from loving each other. That won't stop me from loving you. So I'm starting the show off with a message of love. Yes. Oh, yes. Sorry for all you people who don't want to spread love. But look, that's how we rock here on the channel. But look, I've got my guest in the house. Big up to the one and only. Drum roll, please. We've got Ashmatic in the house. What's up, my man? How are you doing?
Man like Jacob, you know. Jeez.
Hey, what a Sunday blessing. I'm here with you, my guy.
Yeah, summer rain, you know. Hey, it's a Sunday. And as always, the vibes are immaculate. And we move,
Yes,
man.
sir.
You know? It is what it is, man. I think the timing, I'm going to go straight into it. I'm not going to waste time. Big up to everyone in the comments. Hold tight, you, man. Also, the people watching at home and the standard watchers like myself don't really get involved in the comments. I just kind of put my feet up and, you know, just kind of watch the show, chilled out. Yes, that's me all over. But
Yeah, it makes it easier to do that. Whenever I'm over there on Southview Coys, I've been on a few of those rival channels. It gets spicy, so to speak. But hey, I am a man of exquisite taste, and sometimes you need a little bit of spiciness in your life, and some people to challenge you. You know what I mean? Challenge your opinions. That's why I always say, hey, all opinions are welcome here, whether I think you're right or wrong. All opinions are welcome. And of course, I'm going to say that I'm right. But typically, Ash and I agree on a lot of things. So, Ash, you just happen to always be correct too, my guy. Congratulations.
Like that.
But look, there's a lot going on. And honestly, as a host, you would think that I have a general idea and a direction I want to go with this. But honestly, I'm just going to say, what do you want to talk about? Arteta or NUSA first? Because honestly, I'm really not looking forward to talking about either, if I'm honest.
Is that Arteta legit? I thought that was just I thought it was a hoax. I'll be real.
Hey, bro, I can't go more than 2 tweets without seeing some of that fucking face of his. You know what I mean? And it's, it's one thing when.
Oh, he's gone. Or have I gone? I don't know which one it is. Yo, Jacob, you there? You're Jacob. Someone's got into his internet.
Levy's trying to shut me down. No, what it is whenever I'm scrolling, sometimes I'll fucking, I guess instead of swipe down enough, I swipe kind of diagonally. And so then it like thinks that I'm trying to go back. So it takes me out the studio. But whoopsie daisy. What was I even talking about? I don't remember.
Arteta. Just every 2 seconds he pops up in your feed, and it's just annoying to see his head.
That's like I said, it's one thing if it's him crying post-match or if it's him eating a slab of meat out of another dude's hand. It's one thing if it's those two, as I could deal with that because it's all fun and games, But when it's about him potentially going on to a more prestigious job, obviously the news of Gavi, however you want to say is that dude's name from Barcelona, he's leaving, Klopp's leaving. Everyone said sayonara at the end of this year. It's quite interesting. Are they just that scared of Ange Postecoglou? What is the deal here?
I don't really know, man. Like you said before, you see the actual Klopp one, I believe that because he came out on the actual club site. There was a whole video. He sat down with him. The guy was interviewing obviously was like, oh, bad news to tell the club, but here we go. And then he kind of laid into it. He was like, I got to be honest. I got to be honest with myself. It was like a eulogy. That's what it was like. So, yeah, the Klopp thing seems more legit to me. And the way the fans were crying, I mean, I don't blame them. 7 years before that, they had no titles, hardly any trophies. They were bang average. They were so ordinary. They were Jacob's crackers. I don't know if they got that in America, but there's this plain
crackers. Jacob's crackers?
Google it, man. That? Just plain old regular crackers. That's what they are. Oh. No offense to you. You're not a Jacob's cracker. I'm just saying.
Hey, well, I appreciate because in America when they say cracker, they're referring to a white man.
That's also true.
Yeah, so when you say Jacob's a cracker, it's like, damn, bro, we're here on United Spurs of America. I'll get roasted.
I'm gonna show him yeah, Jacob's a damn cracker.
Yeah, I told y'all Jacob's a cracker. It's like, damn, bro, I'm pretty sure they could put 2 and 2 together like that.
Fuck Tottenham. Fucking Jacob's crackers.
Yeah, oh man.
I meant to say
don't even know what we're talking about again. That's the problem with my attention span.
The Clip Clop show. But yeah, I believe in that. And yeah, they were so they weren't that team, basically. We were a bigger team than Liverpool at that time in terms of not size, but in terms of where we were finishing above them. Every season we finished above them. And then Klopp came and he changed that. So, because remember, in the 1990s or in the late 80s, Liverpool were basically Man United. They were winning everything. And then throughout the 90s to 2000s, bro, they were dead food. Real dead food, I'm telling you. The man there, trust me, they were average at best. And so when Klopp came back, he gave them some chest. And now Liverpool fans, you hear them talk a bit wicked. But now he's gone. I think they're scared that they're going to go back to type. That's what it feels like. So imagine Ange coming in over a 7-year period and giving us Champions League, a league title, and cups.
I'm out there. I'm out there, and I'm holding on to him and not allowing him to leave. I'll put it that way. I kind of spoke on this whenever the news broke about Jurgen Klopp, and I was like, yeah, I don't care what anyone says about me personally. If Ange Postecoglou is able to do what Klopp gave those, first league time, 30 some years, 30, I think it was. Talk to me nicely every single time, Jurgen. Ange, apparently, Ash, if you didn't know, breaking news. Apparently, what I say here in fucking El Paso, Texas, United States of America, what I say here apparently directly correlates what the club does. So if I say do this, apparently that's what I'm being told by a lot of people in the chat yesterday, by people on Twitter. They say, oh, why don't you get the militia? I'm supposed to start a Levy out militia. I'm supposed to lead a fucking Braveheart brigade. We're marching across the sea and we're going to fucking go to Daniel Levy's office. Apparently, it's my fault that hasn't occurred in any capacity.
Take that as a compliment, man. They're saying that.
So I'm going to say this, Ange, if you're listening, Daniel, Donna, the board, if you're listening, give Ange whatever he wants. Spend the top dollar on the best ingredients. Let's see what Ange Postecoglou can cook up for us. Exodus says maybe NUSA saw how Spurs fans are killing Johnson right now. I was like, yeah, I'm out of there. I ain't limited my comments. I don't know. We will talk about that. Let me say what's up to a few people in the chat. Big up Peter Aga, Saga the Soldier. He's not here to support us. He's here to troll us, but you know what? He's still here. Big up Craig the Gecko Man. Big up Red says good morning, Jacob. A reminder not to count those chickens before they hatch. Very poignantly said. Big up Craig the Gecko Man. Ethan's here. Steve D says evening all. Got to say I enjoyed the come out swinging version of Jacob last night. Yo, this is the thing, Steve. I've reached a point where I was just like, I'm tired of motherfuckers sitting in my chat saying, why aren't you? Oh, why didn't you get those 3,000 subscribers? All of y'all get together and fucking do something, bro. What you're asking me to go in the ocean with a bucket and try to make no water left in the ocean? You know what I mean? Like I'm supposed to pull up to one of the Great Lakes and empty that water with a straw in a bucket. What are we talking about here? I'm just Jacob. Ash, do you think the fans have any? I know this is not even the topic in which I was trying to discuss today, but I'm curious where you, because, some Spurs fans say, oh, it's because our fans are losers. That's why we never get good things. Does my being a loser or not dictate what a club does? Ash, you're out there in the UK. Are they listening?
Everyone plays their role. I'll admit that. But every and each fan are very different. Everyone takes an L differently to the next man. It's like, did you get everything you wanted for Christmas? No, not really. And so how do you react to it when you don't get what you want, what you thought you were going to get for Christmas, if that makes sense? So some fans will be like, look, you should stand up and maybe complain to Santa. Santa's the wrong person. Maybe complain to mommy and say, mommy, you gave me
the Easter bunny.
Exactly. Go for the Easter bunny and be like, what's this? This is not what I ordered. Can I have a refund, please? So,
you ever seen that meme of Jay-Z standing behind Beyonce? And it's like, he said no pickles. That's us right now. We're Jay-Z behind our strong, powerful woman. Hey, we said no pickles, please. Can you go?
But at the same time, I do think if enough fans make noise, we've seen that happen before. Like in previous windows, if we're unhappy fan base, the ball get rattled and they react. They're very reactionary, and so.
But that would kind of need you to be there, right? To be in the building. I think Daniel hearing Levy out, hearing the songs and shit, the balloons. I think it does, in some sense, it does fall on the fans. But I'm talking like. You specifically, Ash, what the fuck have you done to get Levy out? You know what I mean? Like, it's your fault, Ash, because you haven't done enough to get him out. I don't understand that. Well, just help walk me through that thought process a little bit, because if I'm saying you, Ash, the fuck did you do? What did you even
Like
do?
right now, we may feel like a single drop in an ocean, but it just takes that particular voice that kind of influences the rest of the people that may or may not watch the show. So imagine you were like very strong in your opinions, and you know your 3,000 subscribers were, I don't know, let's say half of your subscribers were like in the UK, and then all of a sudden you've got an army of 1,500 people saying that, yeah, we need to, you know, change things. That's still quite a lot of people. Do you know what I mean? That's quite a lot of people not happy.
So who's paying for the ferry to fucking boat us over like a bunch of Vikings so we can conquer? I mean, bro, if there's a logistically sound way for me to get, but look, here's another little caveat. They say, oh, I'm in America. You know, this is America's #1 Spurs channel. So shouldn't I have some kind of responsibility? And I hear that, but like, bro, I don't even have money to get myself over there for a fucking game to enjoy with my family, let alone mobilize 1,000 people. But here's another caveat to that, Ash. Out of the 3,000 plus subscribers on this channel, 40 something percent is from the UK, 40 something percent is from Australia. There's about 12% of my viewers that are from America. Right. So even if that 12% of 3,000, which is, I'm not a mathematician, but let's say around 120, 150 people. Of that, you'd say maybe half of them would be like, let's mobilize. Then we're just 80 people outside the pro shop pissing off a bunch of tourists, right? Like, when you really whittle it down to the bare bones of it, you know, it's not, people think I'm fucking Moses over here in America. I got to part the Pacific Ocean so we could, wait, Atlantic. Is it Pacific or Atlantic? I don't know.
You know what? It's weird because it's not even just physical people on the floor. It's more like, because a lot of people are scared to kind of physically, you know, do something. But tweets, angry Twitter fans, people on social media, on Instagram, YouTube, you know what I'm saying? It all kind of amplifies in some way. So I know what you're saying. Physically, how can you help? Physically, how can you influence people? Because you only affected 120 to 150 people, but actually it's the online community that have a big say. Imagine like people are pestering, you know, their emails, writing letters. Do you know what I'm saying?
Bro, we are Tottenham TV. That's one of the biggest Spurs channels I can think of. When they were talking about Levy out, if I went on there and they asked me on a big platform my stance, I'd be brutally honest. But my whole point and like why I don't really fucking get up here and moan about it all day is, bro, I can't be asked to be that miserable. It's a miserable topic. It's one that there is not a clear and concise resolution to. There's not one thing that can happen, I think, that satisfies all parties. So this is a very complicated matter. So for me, just trying to enjoy my fucking day to day, like I'm going to talk about Tottenham. I'm going to talk because the people in suits in board meetings and in boardrooms and shit that I'll never get into. Why is that my concern at the end of the day? Yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. Like, if I knew that there was some subsidy in the UK that would, hey, Jacob, gather all the 150 Americans that, you know, want to fucking march on the town. If they was some like pathway, right, that made it, then I might be a little bit more like, hey, y'all, let's all come together and fucking hold hands and give a little, you know, tickle on the palm there as we cross this massive ocean to march on Daniel Levy's office. Like, I don't even know what the fuck that looks like. I feel like it's very sensationalized, like certain people's platforms. Just because someone's on YouTube with 10, and this is not even me speaking about me, but you got 10,000 subs and you're on YouTube. How many of those fuckers actually listen to what you say and then are like, we will follow that? Right? Like, I'm not up here being like, I'm David Koresh, everyone listen to me and follow the plan that I've set. Bro, I'm a dude talking about football, trying to have a good time with other people talking about football. And sometimes about Chewy, sometimes about random shit. You know, that's learning about people's cultures. That's why I'm here. I'm really not here to fucking be Braveheart. Now, if someone said, hey, Jacob, you are the guy to be Braveheart, and it was like, there's a logistical, realistic manner in which we can go about creating some kind of change, then I'm all for it. But to me, what it feels like is when here in America, they're like, oh, you don't like what's happening? Just go vote. Just go vote. Like, I'm not trying to get political, but I'm sorry. Me voting left or right, center, backwards, that don't fucking change what's going to happen. The powers that be will be the powers that be. Little old Jacob's one vote don't make a difference, in my opinion. And maybe that's the wrong way of going about it, but that's just more or less how I see it. And, you know,
it comes down to like your perception as a fan. So I was told before the game, someone's opinion, that like that's on my show. They said under this stewardship, under this board, he doesn't think we'll actually win anything. He doesn't. So as long as this board is here, and that was before the actual game happened. Do you know what I mean? So at that point, everyone was positive, predicting the Spurs win. I was somewhere in the middle because I was like, I'm not going to go too mad if Spurs lose against Man City, the holders, because regardless that, you know, we're at home, they're good. Do you know what I mean? It's not like we're playing Grimsby FC or Maidenhead, I don't know, whatever, you know, one of those dead teams in non-league teams, and we're getting knocked out by a non-league team and we just didn't show up. I think what people were expecting for a minimum was the Spurs to have a go. And I feel like when that never happened, I think a lot of fans got upset. It's not like we never had a go, but it just felt like that because of the scoreline and the fact we only had one shot on goal. It kind of magnified.
Can you even tell me when that shot was? I know the action was Brennan Johnson and more or less one-on-one with the keeper.
This is it.
Bro, I woke up being like, I know we had one shot on target, but I can't even remember when that fucking shot was because it seems like we didn't create one opportunity really.
And that's the reason why people are so upset. And then to top it all, I think this NUSA news hasn't really helped. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So it's almost adding a little bit of peri salt to the fire, to the situation. And it's kind of bringing back old memories because even with Poch, we were like entertaining. We had a great team. We're pushing for titles. But then it's always in the back of your mind. We just like maybe one or two players short to really making a huge difference. And I think with some fans, not all fans, some fans feel like things won't change underneath. Like, do you think? And I was going to pose this question on my show, right? This is what I was thinking. I was going to say, do you think we would ever spend 80 million on a player at Tottenham Hotspurs?
I mean, we spent 60 something on Ndombele. I would imagine that makes us more timid in the market, but just because you bought once and the fucking thing at the auction turned out to be a shitty steer, it doesn't mean you stop attending the auction and trying to find the best. I'm not trying to relate footballers to cattle, but I am saying when you go around and you bid and you're like, damn, that fucking cow got 6 weeks later, that was a shitty buy.
Yeah.
You don't stop going to the auction and buying another fucking one. You go.
This is what I'm asking. Do you think it's okay? Supposing Sane became available, yeah.
Leroy Sané.
Leroy, man like Leroy, yeah. Yardman Leroy.
Yeah.
Half Jamaican.
I'll donate. If as a fan I could put $5 to help the cause, I will. Give me Leroy.
I ain't talking about your donation, B. It's not your money. It's not your money. I'm talking about this club.
Yesterday,
they will spend 80 on
a do I think no? Fuck no. Hell no. No, do I think no? But would I? Oh, hell yeah. Give me Leroy.
I know if you were the chairman, you'd be like 400 million FFP to spend. I'm going Harrods. I'm going shopping. I'm going.
Bro, we have right now. We could spend 320 million. We could spend 320 million and we wouldn't be in FFP trouble. How's that for fucking go on and get it done?
Yeah.
Rowan Kumar here has a really great comment. Says Werner, Richie, Johnson, we actually deserve better. When I think about this front three, and this is what we went into Old Trafford with, we went into a cup tie with a treble winning Manchester City under Pep Guardiola. on the surface, that don't really sound fucking good, does it? That kind of sounds really bad. It's interesting. It did take City how long to actually break us? 88 minutes, something like that. Interesting. But
It was 4 minutes though, to be fair. That offside was super tight when they got that goal in the back of the net.
no, it wasn't that tight. It wasn't. If it was tight enough to where you're like, maybe if he was shorter in a shoe size, then I'm like, yeah, that's tight. But that was a whole half a shoe. That was about half. That was about this much. That's a, bro. Hey,
Fair enough. I just
hey.
saw at the time I saw it, I was like, I wasn't sure. I was like, but they drew the line and he was off. Off was off. But yeah, you're right, man. They did take a long time to break us down, regardless, and it just took a slip up from, I think, from the keeper. Some people disagree with me and think, nah, he should have got a foul there, but I thought he should have been stronger in that position. Maybe catch it. I don't know. I'm old school. I prefer my keepers to catch the ball, but if you're gonna get a hand on it, just make sure you clear it completely, man. But other than that, I'm not mad at Vicario. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's just a punch.
Yeah,
obviously.
he had some good. He had some good saves too.
Yeah, no, he was good. He was good that game. And your doggy, I thought your doggy played quite well too. But it is what it is. I just feel like City did really well at keeping us pinned in, especially in that first half, and really stopped us from playing out the back. And we tried a numerous amount of things to kind of get out, but then they disrupted all of that, and that kind of stopped us from progressing up the pitch. And then I thought our passing was slightly was off, right? Like Porro, Kulizeski, and Bentancur. Do you know what I mean? All three players. That's how I rationalized it in my head. I'm like, they're allowed to have bad games. Do you know what I mean? That's why I'm not getting too mad. Like, I know we were at home, we were favorite, expectation was high, but I'm not like, how everyone's reacting right now. I'm not there yet, but everyone peaks at different times. This is my point. Just coming back round to the point that you made. Like, I watched that game and I was like, yeah, we could have had a better goal, but it's one game, and I know it's an important game because we haven't won in the cup. We haven't won a cup for ages. But I just didn't think Andrew would win a cup in his first season. I don't know, call me mad, but I just didn't have that expectation where he would. It would have been nice if we had a cup run. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, when we lost, I was like, fair enough. We lost to the better team. Simple as that. We move. Brentford next. Let's see what happens there.
It's interesting because when we first got that draw, Ash, I said to myself, if we did go out here, we are losing to what a lot of people are predicting to be the eventual Premier League champions. That's not, if we go out there and put up a fight, I didn't think that we put up a fight as much as we just held on. And then in the second half, the first half was just us fucking holding on. You ever been on a boat, Ash, and then they pulling like a water tube? So you're hanging onto this fucking tube and a boat's pulling you around the lake. You ever done that? That's something people. That's a fun little pastime we like to do here in America. I don't know what they do. Y'all got lakes out there in the UK, but so you're going around on the boat, and when they take turns, you start fucking skidding on the water that's uninterrupted by the boat's engine pedals. So my point in bringing this up, Ash, is that first half, if you've ever been tubing, you're fucking holding on and you're in that, and you don't know at any moment the whole thing you're flipped and you're gone, and then the boat's turning around to pick you up, or you hang on and yes, a wake. Thank you, Exodus. It is the wake. You're out of the boat's wake. And you're out there and you're just fucking, and at any moment this thing can flip because you could blow. You got to really kind of all four, just hang on. Woo! Yeah, I'm getting excited thinking about it. But that's what that first half felt like to me. At any moment, this whole shit, we're flipping and it's hurting and we're skidding across the water. Hopefully a life jacket's hanging on. But the second half, we actually look like, okay, we can hang on. We might. And then it just we were like, no. No. And it was just like, for me, I felt the old coining the phrase, we are toothless, we like to bite, etc., etc. Why didn't anyone pass the ball to Timo Werner?
They tried, but I think it was it's a number of things. It was a lack of quality on the ball. It was getting a head up early enough. And then what I saw, I know like there was loads of clips going around on social media where he was in all the time, but sometimes as a winger, not always running in behind, sometimes mix it up, come short, let someone else run from deep, because they're not hitting it because they're thinking, oh, you might be offside, or they've seen it a little bit too late. So like you're in space and you've made that run, but because they've got their head up a little bit too late, or they've decided to try to hit that pass a bit too late, that run it's no longer there. It's no longer there, if that makes sense. So they just needed to do that pass a little bit quicker, a little bit more decisive. And
why was Højbjerg the one with the quick with the only line breaking passes?
Because he takes his time. He's the one player that, like, as much as people, we don't like him and we want him out of the club, he's like the only player that might want to slow it down to make sure he can do that pass. Whereas everyone else, they try to do that first time pass, but normally it works. Do you know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. On this occasion, like, it just wasn't working. It just wasn't coming off. Do you know what I mean? And you know, like when you're having one of those days and then nothing's going for you, it was similar to that. I felt like when Spurs were playing on that Friday, just we had the idea, but we just couldn't execute it. Do you know what I mean? But again, sometimes you just need to mix it up. And that's what I was saying. Werner sometimes comes short and then let your doggy run from deep, and then it just adds another dimension in terms of players running forward trying to receive the pass, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just changing different passing lanes, we're doing different things, because otherwise they're just not in the game. And then you're like, well, I didn't really see Werner much in that game. It's because you're not mixing it up. I don't know if that's an instruction from Ange and he's like, no, stay up there. But sometimes as a player, you need to have a little bit of initiative, have some kind of game management and think, okay, the space is here. I want to hit the space, but how can I draw like Kyle Walker here with me? Because I'm pretty sure Kyle Walker was man marking. Well, wasn't man marking, but he was like, had an eye on Werner. So if Kulusevski and Werner swap places and like Werner decided to drop deep and then Kulu pulled out wide, then Kulu could have been the one that's always free. And Werner's the one picking up that ball short and then finding him. Because I think Werner, as bad as he is in front of goal, he has some football IQ and he has some type of quality in terms of looking after the ball. But that's just my view. I don't know. I could be wrong.
You know, there was the next question about the match and looking forward that I was going to bring up. Big up Jamie Gitt, I see in the house. But Nathan, the Spurs fan, says, worst game I've seen Bentancur and Kulu play for us. Richie ran his ass off, but the attack looks toothless without Son. I was going to ask you, Bentancur, I thought he looked really good versus Manchester United. Manchester City, however, is a different story. I thought he was pretty bad.
The reason why was because it all started from when we were playing out from the back. They knew that he was our most consistent. He's the go-to guy. When we're playing out from the back, we kind of have Romero and Van der Ven. They kind of split. They go super wide. And then Vicario, what he does, sometimes he does a short pass into Van der Ven or Romero, vice versa. And then the out ball would be Bentancur, but they were super aggressive on pressing him. So when he did get the ball, like they were quick to kind of like, you know, if it wasn't the first ball, it was the second ball they were trying to win, if that makes sense. So the ball might get to him and he might sometimes get to pass it, but the second ball, they would win it, if that makes sense. So maybe like it get to Johnson or Porro, and then the move would break down. And so because that kept happening, that affected, for me, Bentancur's rhythm. That makes sense. You know, like the South American salsa, you know, it was a bit like techno. It felt a bit like, do you know what I'm saying? It was a bit like instead of yo, can you hear me?
You're saying it felt a little bit like this? You see the knees, they were is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I was expecting the Maria.
Oh, okay. You remind me of Santana.
Yeah, like a little Santana.
Played by
Yeah.
Carlos Santana. Yeah, no,
That's
no,
that's what we wanted, but we kind of got what you just.
no, we wanted authentic Mexican food of what we did. And for anyone in America, we took them to Chili's. We took them. That's not Mexican food, but they got some enchiladas on their menu. We'll put it that way. Big up Tom Martin, member for 3 whole months, 3 months of supporting the channel. Dubs in the chat right now for Tom Martin. Big up, my friend. Says, happy to be here for 3 months. Love to the chat. Love to you, Tom Martin. Lots of love for you for being here for 3 months. And not only for being here, I know you're hitting that like button as well. So while we are almost 40 minutes in, there's over 115 people here. So big up to everybody locked in right now. Make sure you are hitting a like. I will be putting the link for Southview Kois in the description of this video. So make sure you go over there and support what Ashmatic is doing as well. But there is a poll in the chat, and I do kind of want to start talking about this because it is, for me, the hot news. I mean, hot news. I would say fucking like one of them hot dogs at the gas station that's mildly warm, but it's been sitting out in fucking in the AC all day, so it's like cold skin but semi-warm in the middle hot dog. Antonio NUSA, obviously, all intents and purposes, sounds like he's going to sign with fucking Brentford. The dirty bastards of bees. I was saying yesterday we have to go out there and break them, but unfortunately that did not happen. But look, the poll right now in the chat, 98 votes. How many likes do we got? We're probably like not even at 50. Oh, 69. 69 likes. Nice. Thank you very much to the 69 of you locking it in, however which way. I appreciate that. But the poll right now, the question, was thoughts about the NUSA deal falling through. And I saw some people commenting about the poll earlier was saying all the answers are more or less the same. I'm not going to lie. I was not in the greatest state of mind when I made the poll because I was like, that fucking, you know, Monsanto is doing a very good job of killing the bees. And I'm very much against Monsanto and the killing of the bees. But these fucking bees, I thought Wednesday's when we needed to fuck them up. But apparently we needed to do it sooner because they're trying to sign Antonio NUSA. But the poll right now, 30% says another bottle job by Spurs in regards to the deal falling through. 19% says Antonio NUSA. I barely even know him. I like that one because, you know, if you don't know who that is, then there you go. You like that one, Ash? Antonio NUSA?
No, I'll tell you what I'm laughing because it's like, you know, when you see a girl that you want and you're like, oh, that thing looks, hey, she is kind of, you know, she can kind of work. And then you move to the girl and she's like, got a boyfriend. Or she just chooses the next man and you're like, rah, she's dead anyway. I didn't even want her. Like, I didn't even want you. How about that? Yeah. Yeah. You're dead. Yeah. So
yeah, now I don't even want, yeah.
People like, who is he? He's never proven. Like it starts all coming out. I'm like, that is funny. I heard it all day on WhatsApp group, so I was just laughing in my head.
So I saved this chat from Derek Smith. Says his poll option was none of the above. Actual answer, NUSA chose what he thought was best for him at this stage in his career, and good for him doing that. And now I've also seen some people saying he's just going to go to Brentford so he can audition for us a little bit longer next season. Where do you see it, Ash? Is this a failure on the club to secure a target yet again that we had been chasing and luring? We were fucking fishing for this guy for quite some time. Didn't get, apparently agreed to personal terms, but couldn't agree with the club. And then now he's agreed to personal terms and the club's agreed with Brentford on the deal that they wanted. Is this a failure of Tottenham Hotspur yet again? Or is this one of those things, like Derek says, this is a young man going for what he believes to be the best next step in his career, much like Dragusin did whenever he denied Bayern. He said, I'm going to go to Tottenham, and that's the next step in my career, and I'm going to live up to my word. But what about you? Where do you fall with this Antonio NUSA deal? Is this a failure of all proportions? Where are you at?
Not going to lie. When I first saw the news, I was gutted. I was pissed. Because I thought like the direction of the club was that we were going to get data-led analytics kind of style players that are quite unknown, maybe a little bit raw. They might need a bit more time to kind of, you know, but they had like the potential to become something great, a bit like what Brighton do, you know. So I thought we were going down that road, and when I saw the links of Antonio NUSA, I was like, all right, cool. All right, so maybe this is the way we're moving. We're not going to go for the 80 million ready-made players, because that's just not what we do, innit? We shop a little bit different. So I was like, all right, as a fan, I'm going to accept that. All right, cool. This guy's not proven, but if we're going to do the Brighton thing, let's do it at 100. Yeah?
Yeah.
But
yeah, let's buy these guys before we're buying them for Brighton.
before
for
they
80,
get,
right?
before like the
Which that's kind of been our model before, right? You know, with Gareth Bale, we didn't go spin and absorb. Yes, we did buy him from Southampton, but he was a young fucking child.
Yeah, 16.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same
Luka
with
Modric.
Yeah. Same thing. So I was like,
I definitely wanted Antonio NUSA Benito. I'm not switching up. I still think he's a hell of a player, and it's going to suck watching him ball for Brentford. But
you know,
go ahead, carry on. Sorry.
No, it's cool, man. Yeah, interject anytime, bro. It's just a two-way thing, bro. But like literally, you know, it is what it is. Like, there's no guarantee that this player is gonna, you know, work at Spurs. We're buying potential personally, because we don't know if it's proven in this league. So I started coming with that kind of mindset to kind of, you know, lick the wounds that missed out on the target once again.
What about this comment? Ugly Fish says, if NUSA doesn't back himself to get ahead of Brennan Johnson and Timo Werner, then I really don't know. Here's the thing. He doesn't know that Timo Werner would be here next year. By the time NUSA does come back, he might be... Is my camera tripping, or is it my monitor? Are you seeing that? Like this weird flash?
No, they're taking
there.
Pictures of, oh yeah, I saw that. They're taking pictures.
You saw that?
Yeah.
They're taking pictures.
Yeah. It's the AI.
They're grabbing my face, man. They want to grab my face.
That'd be the last time I talked to you, Jacob, because it might be an artificial Jacob afterwards. You know, who knows? But
I have all says in what Tottenham do. I speak it and it happens. My ambitions are the club's ambitions. Again, like this is what I see. There's the divide in the chat yet again of like the fans got to expect more. The fans got, bro, I can expect a Lamborghini to be pulled up and gifted to me anytime I want. But is that fucking me? I'm not even getting a Ford Focus, my guy. No one's gifting me anything. And it's just weird to think that, you know, if I say it, think it, and want it, then it's going to happen. That to me sounds like the everybody gets a trophy type of emotion, you know. I said I wanted better, so therefore my standards are high, and they're not. What is this? What are we doing here? I'm not here to talk about fucking ambition. I'm here to talk about ball and talk. Like, we're here talking about like fans' ambitions. I don't care how anyone supports the club. I always felt like you're allowed to support the club however you want. There's plenty of people who said, "Oh, Eric Dyer's leaving. There goes the fucking servant of the club." Now, I could have spent my time on Twitter being like, "You're a fool for saying he's a servant," or I could just let them be. They're not harming anyone. They're just there saying Eric Dyer's a wrong opinion, something I disagree with vehemently. But like, what's the point is my thought process here. But back to the Antonio NUSA thing. For me, there was a comment, I think from John Fitzpatrick, that said, you know, this is a signal of the fact that nothing's changed here and nothing's going to change while Levy's here. Do you see it that way, Ash? This is a clear indication that nothing has really changed? Yes, we've hired Johan Lange and Scott Munn and Ainge and all these people who are supposed to be making these footballing decisions ahead of Daniel Levy, but yet somehow this is falling back on Daniel Levy as the fact that these negotiations didn't get done, when in fact we don't even know that Daniel Levy was a part of those fucking negotiations. But where do you I don't know what the best kind of way to frame that question is.
I want to wait. Am I allowed to do that? I want to wait. I want to wait until, you know, a few windows have passed by, because there's similar patterns. I remember when Paratici first came in, and they said Paratici's going to have all the control. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And they said, we're giving Paratici the full control. Levy's not getting involved.
And then we bought Jed Spence.
Levy got involved. He actually got involved in the actual negotiations as well. And I was like, I remember when it happened as well, because I remember before that, I was like, oh, we got Paratici. This is the early stages. We got Paratici, but we're still doing last minute deals. We're still waiting to the end of the window. Like, it's not really feeling like a new sporting director, like he's, because a new sporting director, I know that's Levy's style. So certain things we're doing, I was like, hang on, I'm not too. So with this new situation, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. That's all I gotta say about that, bro. Real talk. So I'm holding my mouth. I'm waiting. I'm not gonna just go out and say no, and be naive and say, look, Levy's got nothing to do with it, and he's completely away. I think Scott Munn. Do you know what I mean? Because when it first happened, when I first heard about Scott Munn, I was like, nah, that's a smoke screen. Because obviously there's a lot of heat on Levy right now, and so he's trying to distance his way out of the club. But he actually runs the club. He runs the day-to-day things of the club. But now, obviously, you know, if we believe what's in the articles and whatever, he's no longer a part of the footballing decisions. He's more to do with the other side of the business, and the footballing people are running the football, such as Paratici and Lange and McKenzie and the rest of those guys. Do you know what I'm saying? So time will tell. Time will tell. The fact that there are some like green shoots what I saw in terms of us getting business done early, but we did do that. Was it last season under Antonio Conte? And Levy was about then when the World Cup window, we just got things done super early. I remember we just started buying players early. We're like,
the one thing that we did do early, we got Perisic on a free.
Yeah.
And then Basuma. Those were the two. Yeah. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze.
Go for it.
Any second now, I'm about to sneeze. But continue with what you were saying there.
Yeah, no. I'm like I said before, I'm like when the stadium came, I remember we missed I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna be calm, because when we get the stadium, it might take one season, it might take 2 or 3 seasons. But me as a fan, I'm quite patient. I was willing to wait for us maybe to kind of down tools in like 2 or 3 windows. Then like when we generate the money from, you know, the revenue, then we're going to act like a big club. Now, I know like there was a whole COVID and lockdown thing happened and whatnot. But I'm still yet to feel that kind of big push. And I'm not saying Spurs haven't spent money, but I'm talking about like, you know, puffing out man's chest and really going for it.
Yeah, I agree with that, Ash, and I've actually brought up this point a few times on the channel, because the same people who are saying we need to go out and do this marquee signing are the same people who last summer told me that these marquee signings would never come to Tottenham because it's Tottenham and we're so small. So I don't understand like this notion of, I'm not saying it was you, Ash, just because you specifically said like right now, let's go. I agree. Yeah. I would splash the cash on a fucking Leroy Sané right now.
I know who we are. So I'm not expecting that. That's why my expectation is different. I'm not going to get triggered by that. Well, we could have got this player. But bro, we're Tottenham. Come on, bro. I know my club. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it would shock me if Spurs went away and we would like to buy, like I said, a Leroy Sané. I keep going back to Sané. If we were to go and get a Leroy Sané for 80 mil, like pay the actual price, do it early, and all the other clubs be like, wow, Tottenham actually made a marquee. Wow, and actually good one. Not like a player with potential or a player that the fans are 50-50. Like, you know, when every club are like, you know what? Tottenham, well done. You know, a bit like the Madison one. Everyone's like, the other rival fans are like, you know what? You kind of did all right on that one. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the kind of transfer that some of us fans want. But in my head, I just can't see it happening, bro. I'll be real. I just would never see like a Martinez, like from Inter Milan. Tottenham all of a sudden splash. How much was he at the time when Conte wanted him? About 70 mil. I think they were asking 75 mil. I think they were asking at the time.
I think it was 75, and that was euros. So it's like,
yeah, euros.
I think at the time was like 65 million pounds. But he had just,
And I know the whole spiel behind it, but this is an example. But I'm just saying, like, that level of player where, like, we bought a player like Martinez, and the whole league was like, "Oh shit, Tottenham have actually bought someone serious. I'm actually nervous of them now." Do you know what I mean? So, like, yeah, we always go for like the player slightly under. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're more likely to go for like a Jonathan David as opposed to a Vlahovic, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, all right, it's not the club's fault. Those players don't want to come, and there's other things you've got to look at. But I've just not seen it where we've actually put the money down, bang, and then look, we've done our part. We put the money down as a club. We've done our job. If the player rejects us, it's not our fault. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So that's the reason why I was holding my mouth, because I've been that floppy-head fan and being like, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be okay. But that's the reason why, like, I'm not so like aggressive with it. Like, this club and that. Like, I'm not like, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing here? Like, and that's why I don't really like to talk on these matters, because it's political. You get it? I rather just, if I'm gonna do something, I don't talk. I'm one of those guys. All this talking, what's it gonna do? Do you know what I mean? You're not solving nothing. I'm a person that likes I like solutions. What are we doing there? What are we really doing?
Yeah, and Ash, that's why I kind of said that you know, when it comes down to it, like, there's no resolution. So I could sit up here and scream till I'm blue in the face. That's not going to change what some billionaire does in another country across the world. I'm sorry. If fans think you have that much fucking power, you don't. You're silly to believe you ever thought that you had that much say. Now, as a collective, if I was in England, if you're in England and you're upset with Daniel Levy, then I think there's no excuse. But I am across the world. I'm more insignificant than, and so are like the single fans, I think. And you know, if you go to the matches, I think then it is on you to vocally say when you like something and when you don't, because again, I could do it all day, but that doesn't really change anything. And you know, yeah, I've the marquee signing thing, I want to go back to it a little bit, Ash, because you know, the last time it's owned, or it's brought up a lot of questions in regards to, well, when is the last time Spurs have done that? And a lot of people are saying Jurgen Klinsmann, David Ginola.
I think for me it was Van der Vaart. Some might say that I was excited about Madison. I don't know about everyone else, but I watched Madison live against us, and I was like, I saw the man's aura, like, different. His energy was different. I was like, wow, this man. So I was excited about that. I know he's not like marquee to everyone else, but no. In terms of being excited, I think it has to be Van der Vaart for me. Van der Vaart came from like a Real Madrid, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, how many players that are of that kind of level, like, performing week in, week out, drop down into our club? Like, I thought that was amazing, like, personally. I'm trying to think who else.
Regulon came from Real Madrid.
Oh, but that doesn't
last one I could think of.
Oh, what are we doing here, Regs? You know what?
30-some mil.
When Gareth Bale came back, and he came back with Regs, I was optimistic, because I thought, all right.
Well, yeah, because he wasn't Ben Davies. That's why, because it wasn't Ben Davies as your left back.
And the brother had pace, like, as people say, a speed merchant. So I was like, all right, cool. You've got Bale, he's got the quality, he's got the finish. But then you got Reguilon, he's got the legs, and he could be the potential. Not air, but, you know, in the wing-back system, he could help us a lot. Do you know what I'm saying? And they're both from Real, so they're going to bring that kind of energy to our club, that you need that kind of winner mentality. So I was kind of optimistic. But in terms of a marquee, and that is what I made this point on another stream about a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks now. And I said exactly the same thing. I said, when was the last time as a fan base we all got excited? Like, oh, I did. For me, it was Basuma, actually. Basuma. When Basuma was broken.
I think Basuma and Madison. I think.
Yeah. When they brought Basuma, because Basuma, we didn't see coming. Madison was like, we were tracking him, we're interested.
Yeah. We were fighting with Newcastle at that moment. Yeah, you're right.
Basuma, I remember, I'll never forget this day. I think I was in my bed. It felt like Christmas. and it was, I opened my WhatsApp, and it was, lads, we've got Bissouma! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Like, I went crazy, bro. I couldn't believe it. Like, yeah, apparently he'd been in the hotel, not the hotel, he's been in the, the hotel, a little private hotel that we have in Hotspur Way, and he slept there all night, and we just kept it quiet. I said, that's how we need to be doing our business, and that's how we need to announce signings, just like that. So I think that was the last time like Spurs got me off my seat. And sometimes you just need that. I said it would be nice to have one marquee and then one potential to go along. You know what I'm saying? One for the future and one that's ready right now. So that way you can kind of, yes, you're building towards the future in 2 to 3 years time, that, you know, but then the ones that are ready now, they're helping you to kind of fight on all fronts, like your cups, you know, push up the table, you know, start to put serious challenges, because we're never going to get away from that title, Spursy. I'm sorry, if I'm being honest, we're not. If we keep, for me, when you cut corners, it's like my mum always said it. If you don't pay the right price the first time, you end up paying twice. It's not the same, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Cut corners, it's gonna come back to kick you in the ass. I'm telling you.
There's been plenty of times I buy the cheap shit on Amazon because I'm like, well, this is 30% cheaper than the market, the name brand, you know, and then you find out, oh, I think I know why, because this is made out of fucking toothpicks. The other one's made out of like logs. But hey, it is what it is. You know, sometimes I like a little bit of frugality in the market.
I think that's what the frustration is, Jacob. I think that's what it is, because we're always just buying potentials. We're not buying, and that's why we're always nearly. That's why. Does that make sense? If we were doing things properly and we were actually just saying, look, this is the guy, let's buy it. Done. Do you know what I mean? And we were doing it early with it, then the fans can complain, because we said this is how we're moving. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think a lot of people have ambition, and when their ambition is not met, then it's like, yeah, you want a Mercedes and you're getting a Nissan. You know,
let me ask you this: this is still a frequent discussion of a lot of Tottenham Hotspur experts. Let's call them. Let's build them up. Tottenham Hotspur experts on YouTube. Brennan Johnson, you know, there's a lot of people saying it's time to cut our losses and upgrade on the position. That was discussed yesterday as well. I think RX Beats, big up RX Beats, sponsored one of the shows and was super chatting a whole bunch, basically saying that we need to buy someone who's actually a good right winger. Where are you at with Brennan Johnson? Ash, I probably have asked you this because it's been a discussion for the past few weeks, but Brennan Johnson yet again failed to impress, failed to really be effective and be. Are we asking too much of a young kid too soon? A kid who probably came in here not expecting to be the #1 option, but lo and behold, we've applied all this offensive pressure on his shoulders because of his price tag and injuries, et cetera, et cetera. But where are you at, Ash? Is it time that we say, hey, you know, we bought cheap, now we need to buy something else again? Buy cheap, buy twice? What do you think about Brennan Johnson?
I think Brennan Johnson was brought in for the long term. He wasn't brought in for the even though the price tag says here and now, I think they saw his potential and they were like, I think something can come good of this kid. I didn't have massive expectation when he came into the club, but when he first came about, Sheffield United, he came on, I was like, bro, who's that? Boom, bro, okay, maybe he's a little bit better. He's got a bit of pace about him. Oh, he finished it. Because Bissouma put a ball over the top, he put it in the back of the net, but it was offside, obviously. Then against Arsenal, he was causing trouble. I was like, actually, you know what? This Brennan Johnson guy might work, you know? He's running them behind, he's kind of forward thinking. It's like a different dynamic. But then it's consistency. That's the problem started to settle in, you know? People would argue, you know, for a long time, he wasn't playing on his favorite side, which is left. Sorry, which is his right. He was playing him on the left.
Yeah.
And so, was that argument for a little bit, Now
Got a
it's
couple assists out there from the left, though.
he did. He gave a different option. And the funny thing is, he was actually crossing on his weaker foot. But what happened now is he's on his stronger position, a position that he played quite for a few times for Nottingham Forest. And he's not doing those things that you expect a winger to do, is go on the outside, like beat your man. A lot of the time he's getting the ball and he's cutting back on himself, and he's playing within himself. He's not brave enough. And I think in the AND system, it's more about bravery. Like, it doesn't matter if you don't pull it off, but fans want to see you have a go. Have a shot. If a shot goes over into row Z, we don't mind. At least you tried. At least you've got that. And also as fans, we want to see that effort, that work rate. And when he's not getting back and helping out the likes of Porro, etc., I think that's what makes fans even more, frustrated. For me personally, like, I would have thought, and when he first bought, I thought he would have come off the bench. Like, he would have been one of those impact players. He comes off the bench. He gives you a different option all the time on that right-hand side, predictable. All of a sudden, you bring on a Brennan Johnson on the right. Now he's gone on the outside. He's got 20 minutes. He's just got blistering pace. And that's what I thought we were bringing in Brennan Johnson for. That's how I envisioned him. And then I thought maybe, like, seasons to come, you start to see a different player, a different character. Players need time. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me personally, I always want to see people have competition. And if Johnson's not that guy this season, then yeah, I'm all for another winger coming in, and a winger that can play left or right. Do you know what I'm saying?
What about that Jonathan Rowe from Norwich? Now, when we've got that initial link with him, if NUSA falls through, I wouldn't mind. That guy, he's listed as a central midfielder. His heat map suggests he's both linesmen, the official in the middle of the park, and his heat map is fucking the entire map. And he scores from all over the place, can dribble. I could see him as a winger personally, but I don't know. I mean, there's options out there. This is not like the striker market, right, Ash? There's NUSA falls through. There should be at least 2, 3, 4 options.
It's very simple, Jacob. We go for your guy, and he's my guy too. The original, Bakayoko.
Oh, Johan Bakayoko. Oh. See, bro, we've been talking about him since Madueke left, and all of a sudden he stepped up and he became the guy at the end of last season. This season, solidifying the fact that he is that guy.
He's got all the characteristics. He's got the physicality. He's got the 1v1. He can finish. He can cross. He plays on the right-hand side, uses his left foot, goes on the inside, can go on the outside. Like, everything that we're looking for in a winger. I don't care what league he plays in. You could just see that, look, he's like a raw Doku, and Doku's still raw anyway, but he just looks like, and he's 20 as well. So I just think that kid, if we're going to go for like those type of potential players, I would even want him over NUSA, bro. I'm being serious, because I just look at him, it's slightly more physical, played in a higher league, played in Champions League as well. Performances in Champions League as well, good. He's got more goals than NUSA. I know he started more, but got more assists. Like, you go check the metrics. Every stat, he's ticking all the boxes. So, like, as mad as I was about NUSA, I was like, but yeah, like, I go back to your point with Jonathan Rowe, top player. But people are saying, is he on a hot streak? Is he in a purple patch? We don't know, because there's not enough evidence for us to look at to say, like, last season he wasn't doing that, or the season before last he wasn't doing that. I know he's very young, but with these young players, you just can't really tell. Like, it's hard. He hasn't got that much evidence. You can say the same with Bakayoko, but out of the two of them, I'm thinking Bakayoko, I'll be real.
I like Bakayoko. Now, there's an interesting discussion to be had there. Like, what about Pedro Neto? I hear Matoma's 60 mil. Matoma's 60 mil. He's shown that he can get goals and assists in the Premier League. Pedro Neto, same thing, a little bit more injuries. You would imagine a little bit more expensive than probably that 60 million price tag. But Ash, what is more reliable? Premier League proven yet somewhat injured winger, or a guy who can't stop doing it at the Eredivisie level, but that's as large as the I mean, he's been in Champions League, but that's really as big as the stage is for him. Where do you kind of see it? Is it a matter of you want to go with the Premier League prove? I mean, how much you think we get back Yoko? Probably half as much as it would cost to get Matoma, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is it. This is the whole argument, and this is why I was like, if we are what we are, and we're doing the whole Brentford Brighton thing where we're buying the potential, then let's just do that. Then that way we don't have to have that debate. But if we are going to change the way we operate, and we're going to start getting your Lises, your Netos, your Matomas, I don't see why we can't do both. We've got the money, and if we've got the ambition to follow, why can't we do both? Why can't we supplement some of the bigger stars? Get a Matoma playing on the left, and get a Bakayoko on the right, and Bakayoko
through the middle.
You know, yeah, and Son in the middle.
You could get both of them for less than we got for Harry Kane. And again, we can spend 320 million right now, tonight. We could spend 320 mil and not be in FFP trouble. To me, we got to go out there and cook.
How much goals? I've got it here now. 3 goals from Matoma and 4 assists so far. So he's not pulling up.
I think he was injured too.
He was injured, to be fair to him. But I'm saying, like, in terms of, like a breakout season Matoma had last season, we're kind of looking at this season now. Is he matching what he did last season? Do you know what I'm trying to say? So as much as we're like, let's get this guy, Matoma, for me, needs to keep proving like he is worth the metal. But I'm still like, I would still rather have Matoma than any of the wingers that we have at the moment. I'll be real. In terms of the wingers we have right now, Matoma all day, because Matoma takes his man on, Bakayoko takes his man on, and Son's just like, again, he's his quality. Another thing I was going to mention, because this going back to the Man City game, and I think the reason why City was so successful in like defending us, and players weren't playing it into Werner because he looked like he was offside, and same with Johnson or even Richie at times, is because I feel like Richie makes the same type of runs. He doesn't like bend his runs where you dart for the near post and then you change direction. Does that make sense? So you might look like you're running for the byline, no, you're running for the penalty spot, and then you slow your run down. So then Johnson could do a little cutback, and then he finishes like on the penalty spot as opposed to finishing in the 6-yard box. That's what I would like to see from my forward. Like, peel off your centre back, get in between the centre back and the fullback, make those different types of runs. Then we can start cooking. Then it's like, okay, cool. Johnson can do an easier ball, or Werner can do an easier ball. It's not always predictable. Like, it's going to put it on the floor right across, and it doesn't get past the fullback because they're reading it. They know what's going to happen. And sometimes our players, they're hesitating. As soon as you hesitate, that chance is lost and it's gone. So I just think that the striker has a part of the chances we make as well. But to be fair to Rich, he has been holding it up this season. He has had a bit of form. Let's see whether we can keep that up.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you there. Real quick, I don't know if I read this out or not, but big up Elvis G, member for 4 months as well. Says, good evening, Jacob. Good to see you here, Ash. Big up Elvis G. Appreciate you being a member for 4 months, my friend. That's a long time of support. A few people here talking about Elise, talking about Eze. If you had to pick on only one, which one you taking?
I love it. I love Eze. I love the way he plays. But for what we need, I think it's got to be Elise, isn't it? For what we need, it's got to be Elise. It's got to be Elise. I would love it. I like the way Eze just... I'd just pay my money just to watch Eze, to be fair.
You don't worry about Elise being injured all the time?
I hear it, but with the squad that we have, rotation would be all right, because I know Andrew managed his minutes. I think at Palace, he's got to stay on for the full 90, and that's what's probably hampering him a little bit. Whereas I think Andrew would have it on for 60, 65 minutes, 70 minutes, and then he'd probably bring on a Brennan Johnson to think it up a little bit. But at least with Elise, with him rotating like that, he's going to pick up less injuries. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's my thing. I could be. That's my honest opinion. But Yeah, we'll see. No, we won't see because we're not going to get him.
Now, I was going to see. We haven't officially. Now, I just got to talk about NUSA again real quick. There's not been an official here we go. So is there still hope?
Someone said that, yeah. Someone was the club. It's all in our hands, basically, whether we're going to make the move or not.
And apparently, we only had one meeting with the guy. One meeting would signal we're not very interested, right?
Yeah,
or
this
is not the most important matter.
So this is the comes back to your question, like whoever brought it up, and it's like, are we as a fan base, are we going to make noise and put pressure on the board to get this one over the line, or are we going to stay placid and like be like, well, we didn't want him really, or do you know what I'm trying to say? And then potentially we missed out on a winger that's better than Johnson or Werner. Do you know what I mean? Because imagine now we don't go for him, he does well, and then we end up buying Werner on a permanent. Do you know what I mean? But Werner's just like not that guy. Then you're like, we haven't got much to stand on, you know. Like you try to defend your club as much as you want, but then if we start to buy Werners and the Werners don't produce, then it's like you really have to start questioning things. You really have to start questioning things. You know what I mean? So I think that's what that person was implying. We need to like speak up, man, talk up. If we're not happy, let's say it. But again, it comes to the expectation of the fan. Everyone's got different expectation. Everyone has their limit. Everyone's got their triggers. Do you know what I mean? Your trigger being like an Eric Dyer. Like, you know, if they gave Eric Dyer a new contract, then you might have seen a different style of Jacob. This might have been Lee Jacob of United Spurs of America.
Lee Junner, yeah.
Lee J, or did I say Lee J? So everyone's got.
When we did it the last time, I was ready to fly over to the UK and fucking punch somebody.
But what I'm trying to say, everyone's got their breaking point, and so some people, it was the FA Cup for them. They were like, they really wanted a good cup run, and this was the chance because every other club are kind of stuttering. Like Man City haven't been like Man City. Haaland's kind of out. Brian's only just coming back. They're not full. Arsenal are doing what Arsenal do. You know, Liverpool, they've got no midfield. You know, when you watch them, they're not that great. Obviously, their attacking line is strong, but yeah, people felt like this league it's a league you can get at, and so that expectation, you're like, "Rah, Bob, if we buy a big in Jan, we could potentially go for the title," and you know what I mean.
So you're saying we need Kylian Mbappe, and the league is ours.
Pretty much. Show some ambition.
You hear that, Daniel? Since we're best friends, and apparently what I say gets to your ears, Daniel, get us Kylian Mbappe tonight, and then we can win the Premier League. And then you make some of that money back. There you go. And then think about all the shirt sales. You can put his face on, it'll sell off the racks. That's a lot of money to be made there. Come on now.
Also, as well, sorry to interrupt you, but I think Kane has a lot to do with this whole people not being happy about the Brennan Johnson deal, because it feels like that money, half of it, was spent on him. And so you're like looking at Brennan Johnson as the Kane predecessor when really you should not. The two shouldn't correlate at all. Am I making sense? So that's why he's getting a lot of heat at the moment. If that money was spent elsewhere on someone that's like, you know, got a bit about them, then you can kind of forgive it. But it's because half that Kane is giving you 30 goals. He was sold, and now you've got a Werner, Richarlison, and Brennan Johnson up front. So it's like you said, half full, half empty.
Yeah. You know, this just randomly popped up on my feed, this random thing about Kyle Walker. Apparently...
Oh yeah. You don't know that?
Apparently, he fathered 2 children behind his wife's back with some TV reality star. What a dog.
Is outside. Walker has been outside, my broski. I'm telling you.
I thought, you fucker. But you clever fucker.
Yeah. That's why he
Hey.
was his wifey. He was like, listen, I have to get down on one knee because otherwise I'm going to lose her, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, at the same time, she ain't getting nowhere, man. He's a footballer. Like, this is what comes with it. Like, I know I shouldn't say that, but the football money.
I mean, the old thing, same thing with NBA wives.
Yeah.
Your man's traveling for 8 to 9 months out of the year, especially in basketball. There's 82 games. Half of those are not at home. So those are things that are going to happen.
I was hoping that he'll be distracted come Friday because he's got so much heat on his head. I thought his head was super hot.
What do you think about now? This is completely pivoting away. I just thought that was funny. Kyle Walker, you dog, you fucking dog, you.
You must have had a great view of that.
Wow, unbelievable from the back. Yeah.
Unbelievable from the back, indeed. But I'm going to share this tab now. So I saw this tweet and it made me think, and this is a guy that you and I have talked about in ad nauseum as well. Nico Williams. If you did watch him knock Barcelona out, the Copa del Rey or whatever the fuck it's called, he had a goal and an assist in that. And his brother also had a goal in that as well. The Williams brothers were cooking, but Nico Williams Jr. from Atletico Bilbao. How much do you think we could get him for? And I'm not even going to ask because I know you know this guy's a dog. I know you know this guy has everything we need. He could hit the Trivella if he want to. From the right-hand side, might be nice little Trivella services in the box, Trivella services into the net. This is a guy that I would imagine you can get around the same money that you spent for Brennan Johnson, but could excel. But he also can play on the left as well. This is one of those guys that when you look at Ange Postecoglou and the style of players he goes for, this is absolutely fits that mold in my opinion. Nico Williams. What's your thoughts?
I reckon we can probably get him for around 50 mil euros. 50 million euros. I think we can get the job done, personally. Do we have that? Yeah, we've got it. Will we do it? That's another question. It's exactly what we need. As a player he likes to take players on. That's what he likes to do. And that would basically help with our attacking, because the problem at the moment is not necessarily our goalkeeper. It's not our defense. It's not even our midfield. It's that front three all season. It just hasn't looked right. And so when you've got a player that has a different skill set to the front three that you have, because if you think about it, the wingers we have, they're quite similar in terms of they want to run in behind. They want to run in behind. They're not wingers that generally take their players on. Sonny, maybe. Do you know what I'm saying? Sonny, maybe. Sonny, I'm talking about this season, maybe last season. Last season, not so. But in general, we don't have wingers that they just go past players for fun. And if we had something like that, that adds another dimension, and it might even push teams back. Imagine if Kyle Walker wasn't allowed to go on the outside because he had to think about Nico Williams. All of a sudden, we've got more space in midfield. Then we're able
Nico Williams is so good. Look, Jazz Fusion says too good for Tottenham. This name I've never seen in the chat before this very moment right now says, so he's at Bilbao, Madrid and Barcelona won him, and you expect him to go to Spurs. Come on, Jacob. But look, this is the kind of that crux that you fall into, right? If you don't fucking shoot your shot, how do you know? Right? If we're just saying the same thing that I said, like there's a lot of Spurs fans, and when I say a lot, there's a handful that come to my mind immediately, and I'm not saying any names, but they say these things. He's never going to come to Tottenham. How would he ever come to Tottenham? It's just Tottenham. And then they're like, well, why didn't we go out and at least attempt to get a Mohamed Kudus? Why didn't we attempt to get a Moussa Diaby? Why didn't we attempt all these things? And to me, I can only want a certain player. It's up to the fucking club to get it done. But there's not been any Nico Williams links since like 18 months ago when he wasn't even when he wasn't this emerging budding star that he's become now. I just don't know. But I would love a Nico Williams. I think as far as a profile of a winger, he fits all the things that I want, and my assumption of what an Ange Postecoglou would want. Now, as a character, by all intents and purposes, he comes from a footballing family. So this is This shit ain't nothing new to him. This is life. Football is life.
I feel like Spurs want to spend that money on a Gallagher.
That was the next guy I wanted to talk to you about was Gallagher, because after the NUSA thing went tits up, they all started saying. Then all the Gallagher rumors started coming back, and is there anything else you want to say about Nico Williams, or we can pivot right on to Conor Gallagher?
Williams is what we need. It's as simple as that. But I don't think we'll get him.
Williams is what we need.
If we got the here we go from Romano about Nico Williams, and it was like it wrapped up like a basuma, then you'd have to be like, listen. That would change the mood completely of the fan base, in my opinion, for a lot of fans. But yeah, Gallagher, I don't see that happening either. I'll be real.
Bro, 60 mil? That's crazy. To give that to Chelsea, not only are we helping a rival by we're getting them out of FFP trouble.
Yeah,
we're helping them out.
There's so many players. I think Pedro Goncalves is levels above him. And I think he can do that role. I think he could do the 8.
You talking about the dude from Sporting?
Yeah. The dude from Sporting.
That old dude from Sporting. What happened last time we grabbed somebody from Sporting?
Look
up Ben Spurs. This is exactly what I'm talking about. A lot of YouTubers say, why would he come to us? And then also, we need to start acting like a bit. Bro, this hypocrisy, the fucking failure to see yourself in the reflection of the pond is so hilarious and infuriating at the same time. You know what I mean? That whole, my shit don't stink. I can never say no wrong. Whatever I say is right. And even if I change it, then it's right then both times. And to me, life don't work that way. But yeah, this to me, look, I wanted Kudus. I want him. Hey, Ash.
Yeah.
Didn't you have to send me a text message and say, get over it, Jacob? It's done. You sent me the most stern message I've ever gotten from Ashmatic, which was, please stop crying in my fucking DMs about Mohamed Kudus.
Yeah. It's life. Sometimes you just have to take the L. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean,
that's one of those I didn't like. I did not like that.
We like to dream.
Romero came to Tottenham, Serie A Defender of the Year. Fair enough. Big up Cursor. Make sure you are hitting the like. 130 people tapped in with us. We will be ending soon. I do have a show on This Is Football El Akhwa, our Sunday edition. I will be redirecting there. So if you want to see some more of me, you can find me on over there. We'll be starting about 10 minutes. So I'm going to end this show very shortly so I can take a quick facilities break. But so you're saying to me you don't think no way Gallagher happens?
No, I think we want him, but
because Dermot from THFC Till I Die, he was on here and he said, don't be surprised if we're still in for Gallagher and we still and I kind of pushed back. I said, no, I don't think so. No way. That's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. But I also said the same shit about Erling Haaland. I said, yeah, he's going to start. And he wasn't even on the. No, I said he's going to play, and he wasn't even on the bench. So, we were linked with Joshua Kimmich. No way, Kimmich comes, right?
Oh, yeah. I just didn't even.
No way, Josh. People thought. I heard someone also say Florian Wirtz. Florian Wirtz is minimum 100 million. There's no way we're getting no Florian.
Spurs spent 100 million
on a Florian Wirtz. Now I would absolutely love it, but that ain't that is one of those. But Nico Williams, I don't think that's one of those out of this fucking world possibilities. Joshua Kimmich, I don't see that. I think that's more likely than a Florian Wirtz. Florian Wirtz next play. I think he goes somewhere like Madrid. That's my thought on Florian Wirtz. But who knows? You know, if they spend a whole bunch of money on Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Jr. then becomes available. Vinny Jr., what do you think? Ash, talk to me.
Junior, yeah.
Do we have Vinny and Richarlison doing the?
I'm a dreamer, but you know, what like limits? You know what I'm trying to say? Even I have like a cap from that. Come on. I tried to
Purely
do like
because of age, Tav. That's why I said that. Purely because of age, I think Kimmich would be more likely in Wirtz. Although, if you remember what I said in the beginning, I don't think Kimmich that is likely to happen. A lot of people saying offer Pierre plus cash. This isn't FIFA, and a lot of times we don't get those. But I haven't seen us do that in a while.
Yeah, he used to play at Bayern Munich back in the day. He was a youngster there before he moved on.
Højbjerg, yeah, he won a trophy.
Yeah.
Højbjerg won trophies with Bayern. That's what when they said, Jacob, you're so crazy to compare Højbjerg and Declan Rice. I called Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, I call him Decaf Declan. And I call Declan Rice, I call him a spicy Højbjerg. He's Højbjerg, just a little spicy. He's a spicy chicken sandwich, whereas Højbjerg is just a regular chicken sandwich. Chris Cowan apparently saying that we're going to go after Kimmich if Gallagher doesn't work out. It'd be interesting. I don't want to spend no 40, 50 on Gallagher. You were just filling the pockets of our enemies. I never like filling the pockets of direct enemies.
Today is what? Sunday, right?
Sunday.
Window closes when? Wednesday? Or was it Thursday?
Wednesday, our match, 31st.
Yeah.
31st of January, the last day at midnight.
We've got 3 days to make. I don't see anything happening.
Yeah, I don't see. No way, Kimmich in 3 days. You're right. When you put it in that, we don't have 2 weeks to work on this.
Yeah, come on.
No way.
This is Tottenham we're talking about. Like, yeah, if something was gonna happen, we'll be like, when it gets to that stage where you're like, Tottenham are in talks. We're not even there. We're not in talks with anyone. Advanced talks, and then it goes quiet for
2
a day.
players coming in on deadline day? Question mark.
Levy does like a deadline day deal. He does. He does like a deadline.
Deadline day for me, I hate it, but it's fun, but I hate it because I'm like, it just still feels like anything's possible. And once that window closes, it's like, fuck.
Yeah,
every single year, like, we just don't do enough.
Why you gonna do it to me? Like, it's literally like torture because you're watching it in hope. And
bro, refreshing Fabrizio's Twitter page must be on fire on deadline day because everyone's just like, Fabrizio, what's the latest? Any update on this? Any update on this?
Yeah.
Because Fabrizio was on a few podcasts talking about the NUSA deal, like, oh, it's about to happen. They're still meeting, they're talking, they're discussing. This is how Tottenham does business. They do an initial talk, they don't send a bid, and then they talk some more, and they don't send a bid until they know it's concrete. And then, lo and behold, someone comes in and fucking tries to scoop our deal out from under our nose, and that's what we're witnessing right now.
You got to remember, he's getting money. Anytime he talks about any new signing.
Bro, that's why he retweets his tweets, or he'll retweet it with like color emojis and hammers. And
exactly.
It's like he knows what he's doing.
He
this
knows
guy.
exactly what he's doing. So,
dude, 3 years ago, you could have got him on your channel for $1,700. You would have gotten 10 minutes of his time for $1,700. Now it's 25,000 for 20 minutes.
Yeah, straight. Yeah, he knows it. He knows it, man. And the reason, like, what makes it worse? The wickedest thing is the window's being so dry. It's being dusty, real dusty.
We're the only ones.
We're the only ones, but yet we're still complaining. We're still not happy. But it is what it is, man. Like, if other clubs were spending and outdoing us, I could only imagine this fan base right now. If, like, imagine Arsenal and Man United, or they were doing like big business and we were stuck on these signings, there'll be a complete meltdown. But the fact we're the only club doing business, I think that's, making Romano talk about Tottenham even more, because there's nothing else to talk about. Literally,
yeah.
And that's why we've been sucking it up as fans. And normally,
that's fair.
The official guy, he's like, unless Romano says it, it ain't happening. Do you know what I mean? Like, if he says your house is being sold, you believe him. You're like, oh, my house is open.
Honey, start packing. Honey, better start packing. Romano said, here we go. Get the fuck out the house. Ash, I want to thank you so much for joining. We're going to leave it there for today on episode 143. We've gone over an hour and a half, so if that hasn't garnered enough respect to say Hit the like. 156 votes on the poll. I'm going to end it there. 28% is the winner for saying another bottle job by Spurs. And you know what? You're very well within your rights to feel that way. How many likes do we have out of 100? Oh, one more like and we hit 100 likes. And there was 158 votes. So 60 people voting in the poll but not liking the video, and I don't know what that is about. But you know what, on this channel I do like to say, live the life you so want to live, and you don't have to do anything. But I would highly suggest you hit a like, subscribe, as well as click the link in the description of this video for Southview Coys. Go like and subscribe over there as well. Get more Ashmatic and his great in-depth analysis as well over there. So please do that. That's all free. Share the video with your mother, your brother, your cousin, your sister, your auntie, your uncle, your mailman, your neighbor, your cousin, niece, nephew, all the above. You do all that, that's all free. And those are free ways to support the channel. Also, fuck Brentford. And big up Tom Martin for being a member for 3 months. Big up Elvis G for being a member for 4 months. I appreciate y'all's financial contributions to the channel because y'all are keeping the lights on. Let's call a spade a spade. You are absolutely there's the link for Southview Coys. Make sure you click that. Go subscribe. Click the link. Look, I am redirecting on over to This Is Football, where I will be after this. So if all the Tottenham Hotspur fans, come on and help me. It's not going to be a great time for me because we got knocked out the fucking cup. But luckily, everyone's going to be talking about Klopp and Arteta and Arsenal and Liverpool and United won today, and you know, Egypt played and all that fun stuff. So yeah, hopefully all the pressure will be off of me. I'm hoping. But look, y'all, I do want to say I appreciate every single one of you who have tapped in, whether you were being critical of me, loving on me, or saying, fuck you, Jacob, you're a piece of shit. I didn't see that. But if that's how you felt, hey, you're allowed to feel however you want to feel. But I appreciate you being here nonetheless. And I hope you have a great start to your week tomorrow, because it is Monday's right around the corner. So Ash, again, thank you so much for being here on episode 143 of the Immaculate series. And thank you everyone who has hit the like on the video, because you know what? That means you're a real one. That means you ain't a hater. You ain't acting. Look, I don't even have to wake up my dog either, because y'all don't like the video. I'm gonna get the dog woken up. He's not gonna eat. We're 1 like away from 100, so I know we're gonna break 100. And if we don't break 100 likes, the dog will not eat. So make sure the dog gets fed, y'all. That's my new tactic here. Ask me, like, y'all better like the video, or I ain't feeding this dog.
Okay, what's the dog's name?
Chewy. His name is Chewy. Yeah, Chewy. No, Chewy, like short for Jesus in Spanish. El Chuy would be like the Jesus, the Jesus, you know. So, because when he was in the adoption, when he was in the pound where they were going to kill him, they named him Chewy because he chewed on everything. So it was Chewy, like he's a chewy kind of dog. But then we just kept it, but rephrase it CHUY in El Paso specifically. When you call someone Chewy, it's usually like a nickname for a guy named Jesus. So. Very nice. Sean D says you're at 116 likes. There you go. The dog will get dinner. Good. Congratulations, everyone. The dog's going to get to eat. Big up, everybody. Make sure y'all hit a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Go on over to Southview Coys. Hit a like and subscribe as well over there. Big up again, everyone. And I'll see y'all over at This Is Football. For those of you looking for a little bit more entertainment tonight. Free entertainment, might I add. You will be getting it there. But until next time, folks, I need you to do a few things. That is stay blessed, stay fresh, up the lads, and come on, you Spurs. Kuss, 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 kuss.